what's up, guys? This is our final leadership podcast of the year, and we're tagging along one of the younger cadets at Hargrave, and he's going to sort of explain to us today what he's looking forward to most. As we are about to graduate, we're going to reflect to him of what our favorite Hargrave memories have been. So I'm Archie Hooper. I'm the Cadet Battalion Commander from Wilmington, North Carolina. Just like everybody else, I graduate on May 23rd. I'm going to the United States Military Academy next year, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very thankful for Hargrave so far. I'm going to pass the mic along.
I'm Kelson Hudson. I'm a senior. It's my fourth year at Hargrave. I'm attending the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis. Like Archie said, go Navy. I'm very happy for what Hargrave's done for me. So, yeah.
I'm Leon Chin. I'm from Toronto, Ontario. This is my third year. I'm not sure where I'm going.
You can at least say where you got accepted to. You have one
Lakehead
college.
University.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm John Class, and this is my fifth year at Hargrave. Like all these guys, I'm a senior. We graduated May 23rd. Very thankful for Hargrave and what it's done for me. And I'm going to Campbell University.
Heck yeah. I am Keelan Hudson. I am a senior this year, graduating. This is my fourth year at Hargrave. I'm his twin brother, and I will also be attending the United States Naval Academy. Go Navy, beat Army. And really thankful for everything I've had here, all the opportunities, and look forward to where it'll take me.
All right,
Zach.
All right, my name is Zachary Zwarch. This is my second year here. I'm the third squad leader for Delta, and I'm excited to finish being here. Finishing off the year.
Delta strong, babe.
What grade are you going into?
I'm going into 9th grade.
Man, I didn't think that. All right, what you got? Ouch.
All right, so I guess I'll just start off talking about probably like my early Hargrave days. I like to reflect on a lot of stuff I've been through here, because it's like it feels so surreal, like graduating. It feels like, I mean, time flew by, but it feels like there's just so much that went into my experience here, and I have so many memories. But I think my first year, I'm always going to remember like the cadet leadership that sort of introduced themselves to me. I'm going to remember like doing push-ups in the Delta hallway for moving around during taps, even if just one person did it. I'm gonna remember like what challenges I was faced with. That's what I'm gonna think about a lot, because I feel like at first Hargrave was a lot harder than it is now, and I think that's just life, since we get accustomed to environments like we're all accustomed to being at Hargrave, but the hardships of my first year, when I really was not familiar with Hargrave, are very memorable, because they taught me how to overcome obstacles. So like preparing for the commandant's inspection with my roommate, who was sitting around on his iPad, and I was getting mad at him for it, and preparing for Eye of the Tiger, and preparing for my first ever high school tests. Those were moments I was just so nervous, and I was so ready to get it over with. I was so ready to be past that point to where I could focus on something else. But if I could get like 1 minute back from like those times where I spent so much time and dedication, when I first got here, if I could get 1 minute back, that'd be amazing, because I learned a lot in that phase, and these guys were right along with me, so it's gonna be a special feeling when I graduate. But overall, my favorite memory from adjusting to this place was probably, I'm trying to think, there's a lot. Probably the commandant's inspection my first year, because I put a lot of work into that. All right, you want to go next?
Yeah, so me and Archie, we arrived here the same year. I was in Charlie Company. I was a day student. And I remember walking up like the first day on 300 Barracks and watching Nathaniel Duff. He was our XO. He was standing up there waiting for me. And I got into my room, and I didn't know what anything was. And he helped me set up my room. And that year, I say that was probably my most formative year here. I don't know if I put the most effort into that, but I was very, like, everything seemed super hard to me because like you don't know what's happening. Whereas now we're seniors, we're in charge and we're making things happen. It doesn't seem so hard anymore. Like Archie said, the commandant's inspection. I remember when he walked up to me, I was really shaking, and he told me to calm down. And yeah, it was a different time. It's definitely changed a lot since our first year. We have a different president, we have a different commandant. A lot of the teachers are gone, but it's definitely same old Hargrave. And I mean, yeah, it's been awesome 4 years. I wouldn't take any of it back. So yeah.
Yeah, let me add on to that real quick. I can back up what he said about not knowing anything, because when you're at Hargrave and you first show up and you don't know anything, if you look at your messy room, you're gonna cry. Because I cried when I went out of my messy room. I poured out all the stuff I got from the quartermaster all over the floor, so much to where battalion staff and company leadership would look at my room and eyes would open about this big. Yeah, I cried.
It's very overwhelming when you first get back.
So I'm a bit of a special case from the other seniors here because I actually went to public school for a year, or public high school for a year, and I'm also international student. So my first year, my sophomore year, got a lot of help from Dykstra, the CO.
Mr. Extra, shout out.
He helped me a lot. He helped me get settled in. He thought I was going to join band, which is, I don't know if that's an insult or not now. So yeah, he thought I was going to join band. I've been in the same company for all 3 years now. So yeah, it's been interesting.
Man of yours.
Yeah,
Go
no.
ahead. 5 years.
Yeah, me being the old guy of the group, coming in 8th grade year. For me, what made a difference compared to the rest of them is that I came in as not a high schooler, so just little me, and I just wanted to be the best kid I can. And it was just me trying every single day, nonstop, trying to be the best. So I did everything, did all the jobs they wanted me to do, did guy on squad leader, did everything. And I just didn't know what was enough for me, or like how much I can handle. And I just kept on doing it. And then it became my sophomore year, and I was realizing I'm just doing too much. I just need to focus on one passion, one job, and just get really good at that. And that's what I did.
Mm-hmm. Good few years. So I joined Arch and Kelson over here for coming in here 9th grade year. What was it, 2021?
Yeah, it was August of 2021.
My most vivid memory of that day was 2 things: walking in and meeting Chandler Preble as my soccer coach.
Oh, yeah.
That was 1. And then 2 was going down the quartermaster. And it is the scariest thing sitting down there hearing Captain Odgers call from the end, "Next!"
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was sitting down there for hours just waiting to get my clothes. I was so scared. Like, that's my moment. I almost started crying. I almost left right there in the
Okay.
quartermaster. So through those years, probably one thing that resonated with me most was the commandant this year when he took us to the leadership school at the end of it, took us to the front steps and made us look out.
Yep.
I've been thinking about what that means, and I don't really have a definite answer yet, but I've started to think about where I started from and where the path's going to take me. So I followed everything they said. I learned the program, and I started learning trades that I didn't know before, started to grow, and now I'm going off to do bigger things
That's good.
with the same plan I had before. So it's been a very good experience for me. Wouldn't trade anything.
Oh, yeah. All right. Just want to say, Zvarch, you got 2 things to answer to, okay? You got to do like all of us, say your favorite memory of Hargrave, and then we want to hear what you're most excited about or what your goal is, okay?
My favorite memory of Hargrave so far, after the 2 years that I've been here, probably has to be this year's Eye of the Tiger.
Okay.
Just
That's my favorite Hargrave memory.
Yeah.
Tiger.
We did it together.
the first time trying out a Tiger, it gets you like real nervous. Like
Oh, for
you
sure.
you really gotta like lock in, like you gotta pass this, and
You're
then
shaking as you're training.
yeah. And then that night when you first get to the campsite and start building the tent, like, man, that was really stressful, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just on the last day when we finally came through that smoke and they called out our names, that was when I was finally like felt relieved, like, oh my God, I actually did it. But I mean, yeah. My one of my other favorite moments of Hargrave was what's it called again? Yeah, Commandant's inspection also.
Yep.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah. How'd your room do?
My room the first year I failed
Oh, okay.
because
Hey man, we learn from our mistakes. It happens.
yeah, I failed because I forgot to roll my clothes. I
Okay.
thought they were folded instead of rolled.
Oh.
So, yeah, but then after that, we had a roommate switch and I actually started passing. So, I was good.
What are you most excited for?
Excited for?
What's your goal?
We figured it out.
Yep.
Okay.
I want to be an S1.
An S1.
That's one.
All right. So what's so enticing about the S1 position? It's also called the battalion adjutant.
Honestly, just,
Yelling at parades.
yeah.
Yep. You have it all memorized? A lot of people
A
do.
little bit.
It's pretty catchy.
Yeah. Especially because Federal Place's voice cracks.
Oh.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
But, you know, just the.
Shh. Sorry.
Hey, but you can't do what Keelan's doing. You can't whisper out there.
Yeah, you have to yell.
Hey, when you're on the parade field, you better yell. You better
I will.
yell.
I've been training my voice.
I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. When we're out there and doing reports, every time he does his report of his company, I have to do it louder than he did it.
But like he never does.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Dream big, princess.
VAR. We're reviewing the footage next time.
So unfortunately,
Wait,
we
next
can't.
time.
We can't
That's
yell.
easy.
We can't yell in this room. Sorry, but when we step out there, we'll give it a little competition, a little go.
We'll try. We'll try.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So how do you think that's a battalion staff position? You'll wear the cadet captain rank, hopefully. So how do you think you can build yourself up to that? So what are you going to do to earn that position?
I think that one of the things that I could do by doing that is just trying to like lock in a little bit more because like during formations, I do like to mess around a little bit because
Yep.
some of my
This guy.
fellow peers, they kind of like try messing around with them. And I love socializing with my friends, you know.
Yeah.
I love like, but I understand that as a squad leader, you know, I'm supposed to do my job and like lock in. So I feel like that's one of the things that I could do. And also being more of an example, setting more of a standard to my fellow peers because whenever I try to like tell them what to do, they don't like really listen to me. So I feel like if I set more of an example of myself and showed that hey, I could do this, then you have to follow what I'm doing, then I feel like that could help me a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the good thing is that you're actually saying that. So I can tell you, you know, there can be some guys who, you know, we can all look at them and say, okay, they're capable of being good. You know, they draw people towards them. But when they do things bad, it's like, okay, so I'm going to talk to them and tell them, you know, you can't do that. You can't do that again. So you can get two reactions. One is just the uncoachable reaction where they say, okay, and it goes through one ear and right out the other. Or you can have, they can take what you say to heart, and you can see a difference. So that's what you need to be. So it doesn't matter like what your flaws are, because we're not perfect. And as you said, like it's good to socialize. That's just you. That's just Zavarch being Zavarch. And but what's going to make you stand out is if your leadership tells you something and you take advantage of it. Just take it and run with it. Because I mean, if like these guys are like company leadership and like they're always talking to their guys and they can all be like, I've told him this so many times, but it just don't collect any of it. So you gotta you gotta like be the one to understand what they're saying and apply it and basically follow up with them saying like, all right, if there's anything else you need me to do, let me know. And I tried using the advice or I did not try using the advice, but you gotta like follow up and basically say like how you feel like it's changed you. So
I got something to kind of add to that too. If you really want to understand what someone's actually telling you, in that time they're telling you to do that, you're like, okay, I got to do this time. But in your free time when you're watching leadership you look up to, just sit back and watch them. Just watch what they do, learn what they do. That's the number one thing I've learned as a CO. I was a first sergeant. I was always doing things, telling people to do this, telling people to do that. I was never sit back and watching what's actually happening. So as a CO, I got the opportunity to sit back and watch what each of my guys was doing, where they were struggling, where they were doing good, and that helped me build them to be better for themselves. Just taking that moment to sit back, look at what's happening with everybody, see how things are running, see what makes it function good, see what makes it function bad. And once you put all that stuff together, you start to build yourself. Just taking that second to sit back and just be like, okay.
And a lot of that's going to come with experience. So, like right now, what you said, you wanted to lock in. And one of the most effectual ways for you to lead at this moment in time is going to be leading by example. Because you may not have the rank of major or captain, but as a squad leader, you can be the one that's always screwing around in formation that no one really respects because they're just as bad as everybody else. Or it could be the one that's like setting the tone for setting the example. Because if I have an officer that's goofing around in formation and like constantly never has his stuff together, and I have a squad leader that's always perfect, who am I going to really look up to?
Squad leader.
That's right. So at your level, and really at every level, one of the most effectual ways for you to lead is by example. So,
Yeah, you gotta like form good personal connections because just like what Keelan was saying, like sit back and watch. Like if I knew somebody was sitting back and watching me, I'd really like hope that they were like taking things that they don't agree with I'm doing or that I'm doing wrong and like learning from that. And I would really hope that they'd be giving me feedback and basically saying like what they do differently, just to know that they have like their own opinion and they've sort of thought about their own leadership style. Because if you can think about your own leadership style, like that's where you're sort of set up. If somebody asks you like, do you want this position? Because you can be like, all right, so I'm passionate about this because, and then explain your leadership style. So I was about to say, like, you said you wanted to be the battalion adjutant your senior year. Well, it's all about service, right? It's all about other people. Like, Kelston and Keelan, they're Delta and Echo. They don't have anybody the same age as them on their barracks. So if they go into this, heart not in the right place, wanting to be around their friends their age, like they're not going to last because they're not going to be around friends their age. But they have a purpose. Like they're so committed to what they do because they see their guys as easy to motivate and stuff like that. So that's why they do what they do. So I could ask them like, why are you doing this? And they could give me the answer. I'm like, okay, they're passionate about what they do. So I think another good piece of advice is just to like for you to think like, what exactly does this position do? What exactly am I going to do in this next step of my Hargrave life? And just like think about it, like be like, okay, so how am I going to do this? All right, like this is why I'm passionate about it. Because you never know. In the process of thinking about it, you could change your mind because you realize you're not as dedicated to it. But you want to do something that where your heart is. That's just where you're going to succeed the most. And it doesn't matter about being being the best in the room. Like, you don't have to compare yourself. Like, but it's just like, all right, I'm gonna do what Zavarch can do best, and what he really can make a difference on. So.
And everything you do always have a purpose. Like it's good to have passion, but passion without a purpose is useless. So if you want to be the S1, like figure out your purpose for doing that and who you're going to benefit and how you're going to benefit yourself. So it's always going to be about those around you when you're in a position of leadership. You always have to put others, those who you're leading, before yourself. I mean, it's a sacrifice to be in leadership. It has its benefits, but I mean, I think it also takes a toll on other parts of your life. Like you're going to be losing your free time. You're going to have to maintain the rules even with your friends who aren't in leadership positions. But if you have a specific purpose, use your passion you have for that to fuel your leadership, so you don't ever burn out. Because it's easy for a lot of guys here to burn out super quick because they have this idea of how glorious it would be to have this position, but they don't take into consideration what that actually entails and like what they have to do to successfully maintain that position.
Almost like they didn't understand a responsibility that it even existed.
There's kind of like an overarching thing that really goes with it. Everything you do here is going to leave a footprint. You want to be that guy that people say, I want to step in his shoes. I want to follow in that footprint. And I'm not saying you're not going to do bad things. You're going to make mistakes in leadership. You're going to make mistakes all the time. But every mistake you make, you're going to learn from. So you want to be that person. They're like, yeah, I want to be like him one day. That's what we're hoping to achieve. we're hoping the guys that are under us look up and say, I want to be like him one day. And we hope you guys are better than us.
Yeah, like the yearbook's theme this year is leave a legacy. But I think a lot of people here are going to leave a legacy, but very few are going to leave one worth remembering. And I wrote that in somebody's yearbook. I can't remember which Delta kid it was, but yeah, I wrote that in their yearbook. Leave a legacy worth remembering, because you don't want to be the guy that was, a slob, just goofed
Snuffy.
around constantly.
Snuffy.
I mean, you may want to be that, but typically that's not what you want to be. So yeah, make sure, because everybody's always watching you, especially in leadership positions. All eyes are on you.
Yeah,
So.
and that's like one of the things that I learned from this year. I learned from my mistakes because I see,
Yeah.
because every time during formation, you kind of like help me and tell me what I'm doing wrong. So that's what I'm going to try to bring in next year into Echo. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be the squad leader. That's what I'm going to try to bring in. Implement
Yeah, and
those.
being your commander, I can firsthand attest that you've grown a lot this year. Like from beginning of the years of Arch to now, it's completely different. I'm really proud of how far you've come. So you're doing really well. Thank you.
Yeah, a big part of it is like not giving up. So like if you make a mistake along the way, just like as Keelan was saying, like he was basically saying like you can't let that define you. You can't like give up based off of a mistake. But another way to think of it is that the reason why a mistake you make is like sort of will give you an advantage is because if people see you not giving up, then that will like give people more respect for you, because you could be like, as people like to say, like clowned on, and you could be like laughed at if you're trying to tell people to clean common areas. Like it doesn't matter, but as long as you're still keeping your head up at the end of the day, and you keep on telling people to do it, they're gonna be like, all right, so this guy is not gonna give up. Like my little magic trick of saying, okay, screw Office of Arch, it's just not working. So respect comes along with grit. You just gotta have that determination until the very last day. You gotta be on your feet, with everybody else in the action.
We're the old and wise guys that have been here for so long. You have any like questions you know of? Something you just want to know? How to do this, how to do that, how to do secret things. What's any questions you have for us?
Question?
Yeah.
Putting them on the spot here.
Yep. One of the questions that I have is like, how do you guys like do it? Like, how do you guys still have like the passion and energy? Like, even though like people might hate you, like, how do you still get through that?
Pick me. Want to get that one?
Yeah, pick 'em.
The successes of your guys. So you're sitting up here, you're being a company commander, all the success is given to them. So when they succeed, they get happy, and that's like, okay, we can do this as a team, we're together, and we can make stuff happen. So seeing them succeed, seeing them grow and become people like you, watching you go from the beginning of the year to the end of the year now, it's like, all right, if I can do it for one, I can do it for all these. I want to make my name known for them and build them up into different characters. So that's what's motivating me to keep going is you guys. Make sure you guys have the best experience you can.
Yeah, adding on to that, so they may hate you, but they may. But at the end of the day, as a leader, what's your goal at the end of the year? It's not to glorify yourself. It's like he said, their success. So they could hate you at the end of the year, but if they've won 20 streamers this year, they haven't had a single character report. They may hate you because you're strict and you expect 40 times a day, but guess what? They're winning, and I guarantee you they learned something. So you have to look at, like I said, your purpose. They could hate you, but what's the end result? Are they learning?
Yeah.
Are you leaving a legacy? So if as long as they learn a good lesson, you're gonna. And not everybody's ever gonna hate you. Some days I think you hate me because I'm like, Zavarch, stop talking, and then. But I know you'll get over it. So you just do it.
Yeah, like the aspect of just stepping up and becoming just a more mature person. I can tell you, like it's always gonna be worth it. So it doesn't. You can think of it as like, okay, so I'm going for something to do. I'm trying to lead a group of people. At the end of the year, I'm gonna ask myself, was it worth it? And immature me, a long time ago, probably thought, okay, well, if I don't get to my dream school and my resume didn't look good enough, then no, it wasn't worth it. But I changed my mind since then. I learned that like stepping up and being better than who I usually would be, like by having a purpose. Like I'm always gonna end the year and be like, yeah, it was worth it because people have a name for me, or my name like means something, and that's just what you want. You don't want to be seen as the guy that's lacking behind and just showing that he just doesn't care, because as long as you're showing your heart, then nobody's gonna sit back and be like, okay, this dude's not any good. So, all right. So I'm gonna actually turn this question over to Chin here because so to provide some context, Cadet Captain Chin, he has not had an easy year. So his company has had its ups and downs, and it's actually the biggest company, and he's had some of his leadership come and go, and it's been a lot for Chin to sort of maintain at once. And there was just some nights I saw him and I was just like, oh Lord, Chin is just wrapped up in his own head and he's burnt out. But the reason why I'm proud of Chin is because no matter what happened at the end of the day, he kept his composure. He never let himself loose, and he's still in this position. He didn't give up, and he actually has confidence in whatever he does. No cadet ever destroyed his confidence or changed his character, even though they were difficult to be around. So, what do you have to say?
I mean, it's been a difficult year. There's been some kids, they moved down. I got some new kids that moved up, and then some got kicked out.
Yeah.
But overall, it's not that many bad kids. It's just like the few bad kids that influence the rest of them to do bad stuff. That one got kicked out. So most of the other kids that he was influencing are a lot better now. I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course I know you.
Like the ones he was influencing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're mostly a lot better now. There's a couple that still like senioritis. They don't care anymore. They're not that really much different from the start of the year. But most of them, they've settled in. They've gotten used to it. So a lot better now.
Yeah. And this is just like, I'm like going off on a rant about this. So like you were like, okay, so how do you stay motivated? And honestly, like, Keelan said, like, it's the success of his guys, but for Chin it could be like a little bit different. So Chin could be like, okay, so you can look at what he did and be like, that is why I'm going to stay motivated, because he ended the year strong, and he was just talking about some problem guys, a problem child in his company, just dragging everybody else down, and they didn't deserve to be dragged to be constantly having a bad influence on them. So I mean, with them not being in the correct mental state because of one guy, they didn't see anything he was doing as good. They saw him as a complete nuisance. They didn't see him not even as a good person. But look at them now. So if they reflect on their company commander, they're going to be like, he's a stud, because he had a heart of gold. They saw that it wasn't easy for him, and they can see themselves like not liking him at the start of the year, but look, he stayed consistent, and they're respecting him now for it, because they learned as long as he didn't give up, they'll learn. And guess what happened? Everything settled down, and his guys learned, and now he has a lot of respect coming his way, because guys just can see the determination and grit.
Yeah, to build on Chin's situation, with there's some people you're never going to get the message through, at all, no matter what you tell them. But Colonel Redding told us this in one of our meetings this year. There's three parts. There's the message, how it's given, and how it's received. And you can only control two of those parts. That's the message and how you give the message. You can't control how it's received. So you can change those two things all you want. But some people, they got a head that's a block of wood. I mean, they're not going to understand. So you're going to have to figure out ways to circumvent their stubbornness oftentimes, and it's gonna make you mad. You're gonna get tired of dealing with the same kids. I mean, you saw it in Delta we've had quite a few record setters in Delta.
particular case.
The two particular cases, but I mean,
Yeah, the other one.
even then, you have to figure out how you can incorporate them into the company without the rest of the company failing. And one of them really took a toll on us last market period.
Mhm.
And you saw that we were performing great all year, and he shows up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know if he would have been a little bit here a little bit longer. I think he was getting better by the time he departed the campus. I don't know if we would have fixed him completely, but some guys it's going to take a whole lot of time and a whole lot of work. You just like Chin of all people, he's the greatest example. You can't burn out, especially in these high leadership positions, because there's too many people depending on you to do your job. So I mean, even there's gonna be many days you're gonna want to quit. I thought a lot of days I was like, I'm tired of this. Why am I doing this? But it's like I have 40 cadets that are relying on me to show up tomorrow and get the job done. Because if I fail, they're definitely gonna fail. They're all looking to me. So if I'm not there, who do they look to? It's like her lost sheep. So you can't burn out in these high leadership positions. So remember, the message, how it's delivered, you can't control how it's received. You can change those two things, but not how it's received.
Speaking of you're gonna get burnt out, as he said. So how you level that out is basically like by blowing off some steam.
Yeah.
And of course you don't take breaks every night, for the entire night. So you're never present. Like that's not how it works. But you gotta sort of relieve your mind. So like we were talking to the president today, and I was basically saying like I had a lot of responsibility. And these guys can definitely have like probably more responsibility than me. And I'm sure they think the exact same way, but we get burnt out, and I was burnt out a lot. But what actually made the year not bad was that these guys were always around me, and they lift me up. So like we're always on our little Snapchat officers group chat, talking about some funny stuff and sending some funny pictures, funny videos of us acting stupid, shenanigans. But yeah, like on a serious note, I feel like a dummy talking about that kind of stuff because we just act crazy sometimes to make each other laugh. But on a very serious note, I get burnt out, but then I come back to these guys, and I'm charged back up. So it just takes you're not gonna be able to do this all by yourself. You had some help, and you have to have more guys give you some help. And that's just how life is. So, and that's, if you don't think that, then I feel like a lot of people are going to see you as having like a big ego. This guy thinks he can do everything himself.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
Shooting off a lot of information at you. I know it's a lot, but by the time you get to your senior year, you'll start to understand what we're saying.
Yeah.
You may comprehend it right now, but you don't understand it. You get into that CO position towards the end of the year, that's when you really start understanding stuff. Because, we were going through the motions, we were doing good, but you don't really know what's happening. You don't really know your job until you're done with it. And you go back and think about it like, yeah.
This is my second year being a CEO, and I'm still learning.
Every
And I
day.
still haven't got it figured out.
Every second of the day, you're
Yeah.
constantly learning something new. Whether it be bad things or stuff you need to prevent, you always learn something new.
So what have you learned in your leadership positions?
Honestly, what I've learned is controlling your emotions.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
Gotta do
really.
that one.
Because, you might be around people that you have to, they're the difficult ones, as you guys said earlier. But you might get mad about it or upset, and you just can't let that emotion out. You gotta, be able to control it. I understand sometimes, it can slip through the cracks, but you got to be able to control it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I learned.
Good. Yeah.
And another one is being respectful towards your peers. Treat the peers how you want yourself to be treated.
Yeah.
Because you might be harsh on them, but just don't be crazy rude or anything. Don't be disrespectful towards them and
You can be strict and respectful, definitely.
Yeah. So.
One thing I can talk about the emotions, letting them control don't let them control you is when you get in those situations, take that second that's getting heated between you and another kid, especially us being older and we're talking to kids that are making us mad on purpose sometimes. You just got to sit back and say, okay, where am I going with this conversation? If I keep going on this tangent or being pulled into, how's this going to affect me? Because if we keep arguing back and forth, our relationship's going to be done. I mean, it may build back, may not. So you got to take a step back and say, okay, let's start from the beginning. What was the problem we initially had? How do we fix it? Just got to take that step back and think, okay, let's go.
Johnny, do you have any words of wisdom?
Hey, you're here the longest.
Yeah.
A lot of crickets over there.
Yeah. Time for this one guy to talk. Just finish strong. Keep it going. Keep that train of momentum going. Because my mistake is that I just started giving up towards the end of my years. Like, my 4th year, I was like, I'm done with this. Now, that's when I was first starting. Like, I really wanted to quit. Like, I was so fed up with my whole company. I just didn't have a staff that I can rely on. And I went to Reading. Like, I was about to throw my rank at him, just say, I'm done. I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm.
But he convinced me not to. But just keep that train going. So you've been here, what,
2 years.
2 years? You have another 4
4.
left.
Yeah.
You gotta keep that train. Like, find that passion just to keep going and push that stuff. Like, you want to be S1. Push for that passion. Talk to others. There's gonna be a lot of S1s. 4 more until you get to be the S1. Talk to them. Learn from their mistakes. See what they did well. So that way you can be the best S1 you can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that really keeps me going is just knowing how proud my parents are. Just seeing how much I've grown, how much awards I've received, how much respect I've gained. You know, that's one of the things that keeps that fire burning. It's an undying passion that keeps you all, just keeps that strength in your mind. It's just, so it keeps you going.
Filling that void, man. You're just capable of a lot of stuff, so you gotta have that self-confidence. But as we're wrapping up, like, from the bottom of my heart, all these guys, I'm speaking on behalf of all these guys, like, we just want to say congratulations to you, because we love seeing these guys really put in effort and give anything for like a good experience and helping out others like you are. So we just want to say congratulations on finishing another year here, because that itself is an accomplishment. Because you look around, like, not everybody can do it, if you're going to be completely honest. And if you're going to be completely honest with yourself, like, there's been times where you're just discouraged and you were in the mindset of, oh, I give up, I hate this. But in reality, the fact that you're sitting here right now with your NCO cord on and your ranks on and still doing the squad leader, the fact that you're sitting right there with all that, it just shows that you made it and you can do it again.
Yeah.
So as we're graduating, we wish you the best of luck and congratulations for each breath you take, because it's never going to be easy.
Yeah.
Proud of you as your CEO. Great job this year.
Thank you.
Well, Keelan's not going to congratulate him because he's his brother's company. So
Hey,
yeah,
as you cadre this year, congratulations on passing out a Tiger. This was your second time, right?
No, this is my first time.
First time, even better.
First timer.
Yeah.
One and done.
Good.
All right.
Good luck to everybody
Wrap it up.
else.
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for watching. And
Last podcast.
Last podcast of the year.
Hey, it's been great.
It's been great.
Yeah, and shout out to Mr. Bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Hey, Mr. Bunker.
Hey, Mr. Bunker, can you come out here?
Bunker.
Can we get a face reveal?
Shout out to this guy, the one putting everything on, all the editing. Oh yeah.
All right, this is the Hargrave Studs, and we are out.
Bam, shovel.